to show you my favorite cleaner degreasers. We have the Totally Awesome here, Spray 9, and the Dawn Heavy Duty Degreaser, which is that purple color. And I thought I would do over the next few weeks is pull these out when we see some dirty parts and put them to the test. Right here we have a window regulator which has 20 to 30-year-old dried grease on the frame. We're going to put just a little bit of Dawn on this side and just a little bit of Totally Awesome right over here. Let it soak for 5 minutes and see how well it takes that grease off without any scrubbing at all. I'm going to leave Spray 9 out on this test because it's not as strong as the other two, but this one also has a very good place for use around auto cleaning. We're back after a 5-minute wait. Now notice all we did was we just laid a thick coating of the Totally Awesome right in here with an acid brush. And then on this side we took the Dawn Heavy Duty Degreaser, same thing, acid brush, lay it on, no scrubbing. I'm just going to take a paper towel and let's see if it'll attack this without any scrubbing at all. Okay. There you go. Totally awesome. All right, let's try the other side. Uh-oh. I think we have a winner here. Okay. See, this isn't going to require very much at all. Maybe another light application. Let's see what happens. Not even waiting. Let's rub that out. Okay, and let's do it over here with the Dawn. So it looks like, at least in the case of aged dried grease, that Totally Awesome is a winner. Just for fun, since I've got my Spray 9 out here, this is the one I use for vinyl cleaning, where you don't want something that's too harsh. So I'm going to squirt this on here. I'll just rub it with my fingers, and then we'll wipe it free. You can see it's doing some light cutting there, but not much. So if you don't have anything else and you're using Spray 9, you get some Scotch-Brite pad or a nylon brush here and scrub this up. This would probably get this off just fine. Now I want to try these three on this valve cover. The valve covers tend to get stained. It's not so much thick, heavy grease. There's oil on here, but you get this weird staining over time. Let's see how these do. I'm just going to take a section. We've got this marked TA for Totally Awesome, S9, and Dawn. I'll just soak up a 3-inch section on each side. And then with the Spray 9, I'll just go ahead and spray a little bit on there. Rub it with my fingers. I'm going to let this sit for 5 minutes and we'll come back and do the wipe test. All right, I'm just going to use an old shop rag and we're going to wipe this off. Okay, you can see the Spray 9 didn't do much at all. Let's go over to the Dawn. Well, it got some of the grease off, but not the discoloration in the aluminum. Now let's come over to the Totally Awesome. So you can see it started to etch into that discoloration. Let's see what the Totally Awesome does when using a little bit of Scotch-Brite pad at the same time. But I think here you can see, yeah, there's a difference. It looks like the Totally Awesome has started to eat a little bit into the aluminum to a greater extent than either the Spray 9 or the Dawn. I'm not rubbing too hard. I don't want to scratch it, but I'm just working it enough so it gets that cleaner into the aluminum. a little bit of patience, I think you're going to get this valve cover looking pretty nice. Look at that. I need a little more right in there. Okay, I think you can see what's going to happen if you work this. Now let's just come over right away and see what the Dawn does using the other end of the pad. This is also working, but notice it's taking a little bit more effort to get into the staining lines on this valve cover. Okay, let's wipe this down. Okay, here's your Dawn, here's your Totally Awesome. Who's the winner? Now we're going to talk about using these products on vinyl. I usually dilute the Dawn heavy duty degreaser or even the Totally Awesome 50% with water if I'm working on vinyl. You leave this on too long, it can start to soften the vinyl. Spray 9, from my experience, can be used straight out of the bottle. So I'm going to start with spray 9. I'm going to put a little bit right in the center. And I'll just rub it a little bit. Okay, see that? Same amount. Now this is full strength. It's not going to be on long, so that's okay. Full strength, Totally Awesome. We'll put that over here. And then I'm going to wipe the brush. And then we'll take the Dawn Heavy Duty and put right here. And we're not going to wait 5 minutes. Just for a comparison here, I'm just going to rub it a little bit. And then I'll rub this one a little bit. I can already see. Gee, amazing. All right, let's take the rag. And there's the Dawn. There's the spray 9. And here is the Totally Awesome. So I think you can see the spray 9 is going to take some work when you do this. It's much gentler. You're going to have to use a soft nylon brush and scrub it in, let it soak for a bit. Here you can see, I think the Totally Awesome is starting to even cut into the plastic. So you have to be careful. You want to dilute this when using it on plastic or vinyl. And in second place, of course, Dawn is starting to clean off that crud, but it's not quite as aggressive as Totally Awesome that you see right here. You've got to be careful you don't use anything too harsh on vinyl or it tends to attack it and dry it out. So what I did is I took the Totally Awesome and mixed it 50-50 with water. I took the Dawn Heavy Duty and mixed it with 50-50 with water. Don't use them straight on vinyl. And then here's spray 9. Now I put it on there and I just lightly scrubbed it with a soft nylon brush like this, just not too much, and then I just wiped it off. Didn't use any water or anything. And I'm going to bring the camera in here and I want to see if you can tell the difference. Here is the Awesome. Here's the Dawn, and then come over here to the spray 9. It may not show up in this video, but what's happening here is these two products are really drying out the vinyl, particularly the Totally Awesome. I'm not going to recommend you use Totally Awesome on vinyl. It's just too harsh. And this is real dry. I'm going to have to put some protectant on here. And the same with the Dawn. It would be really not a smart idea to use them straight out of the bottle. It's just too much for vinyl. But I like the spray 9. It's just strong enough that it'll clean it, but it's not so strong that it dries out the plastic in these vinyl panels. Now I want to show you a comparison using the Totally Awesome and the Heavy Duty Dawn, cleaning up this old faded rubber. Now you see this on a lot of cars through the 70s, 80s, and over time it gets very, very dried out, super dried out, and it gets kind of a rough texture on it. And you can put protectant on it like 303, Armor All, heaven forbid, and you can do that until the cows come home, and it's never going to look good. But I found a way to treat this so you'll get lasting results. So this little section right here has not been treated. Nothing's been done to this. On this side over here, you can see it's smoothed out. You get a more consistent color on the rubber, and I use the Dawn Heavy Duty right here. And what I do is I use a Scotch-Brite pad and just rub lightly. You don't have to rub too hard, but you have this kind of rough surface, dirty surface on here, and you need to get that smoothed out before you apply protectant. So this is the Dawn. You can see the type of Scotch-Brite pad I use, not too coarse, not too fine. And then over here on this back section is the Totally Awesome. And I'm sure you're not going to be able to tell in this video, but this looks a little too dried out. And it's not as smooth as the Dawn over here. So for this application, I feel that the Heavy Duty Dawn Degreaser is the winner. As a final comparison, I thought I'd bring out some old greasy engine parts. I'm sure some of you are thinking, hey Kent, why don't you just use this pressure washer? Good old pressure washer will clean those up fine. And I have to agree, that's probably true. But it's not always easy or convenient to bring a pressure washer into the shop. So I've got my bench, I've got this old oil pump, I want to clean it up. And we've got the Totally Awesome, the Dawn, and the Spray 9. I'm not even going to use the Spray 9. It will clean these, but it's going to require a lot of scrubbing. I've got just some brushes. I'm just going to coat these areas, let them sit for a little bit, and then wipe them off without any heavy scrubbing. Now these are delivery valves off a diesel injection pump. So let's start by coating up one of these. This is really gooey gunk on here. And then let's take and squirt a little Dawn on this one. All right, now we're going to take this oil pump and we'll squirt some Dawn over here and just rub that around. We're just going to let it sit. Then I'll take this part of the pump right in here with this Totally Awesome. All right, that's probably good enough. And I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to come back in 30 minutes, and we're just going to wipe these areas off and see what happens. Rolling after 3 seconds. I've got camera, action, lights, and inability to think. Okay. What's the hardest thing is when you get into the chair, you don't bump the tripod. I got a little distracted on another project, so it's been almost an hour. But let's see. We'll start out with these delivery valves, and I'm just going to rub them. Okay. I would say that's about the same, so I don't see any big difference there. Not bad. Look at that old engine greasy oil come off. Okay, that was Dawn. Now let's come down here to the other section. No, I think particularly here, I think the Dawn actually did a little bit better job of cutting through that thicker grease. This is just regular greasy oil. And this part's been sitting around the shop for, I don't know, 15 years or so. So from that, I think you can see that maybe Dawn's a slight winner there. But if you're going to take on automotive cleaning, degreasing, detailing, you may find something that even works better for you. But for me, these are my 3 favorites. Whichever one you choose to use, you're going to have to make the call.